Good morning, welcome to Something Saturday. So today I thought we would check out the Merry Bold and Bright kind of sweet, only I don't have that part of it or this part, so we're actually just checking out the paper, the embellishments and the ribbon. But you know, it's part of the sweet, so we'll call it that. So I wanted to particularly show you the paper. Let's start with that. This paper is incredibly versatile, so I reckon it will work for birthdays and Christmas, and pretty much anything in between. So you got this beautiful bright paper, and it's got these cute stars on the back, and then you got the fa la 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 la. And again, something that easily works for birthdays. Let's move things to this side, shall we? Then we've got some Christmas trees. It's very Christmassy. I wonder whether you could use it as arrows, though. You never know. And that side has this lovely bold stripes on it. Then we've got the, lights, thank you. And that has, again, nice bold stripes on the other side of it. Then some more lights. And again, a really big bold pattern on the other side. And then we got some little hats. So potentially, I suppose they could be little Christmas hats. They could be party hats. Who knows? And some great dots on the other side. So I just thought it was such a lovely set of papers that, I was kind of like, oh, I think I have to have that. And then, of course, there's ribbon. And oh my goodness, I'm really hoping that you can see the shine and shimmer on this ribbon. It's iridescent and it's just gorgeous. And again, like all Stampin' Up! Ribbons, it's nice and soft and easily pliable to create your bows or your knots or whatever. And then we've also got these really cool embellishments that are called iridescent adhesive backed discs. And they are weird that they are little discs rather than being like sequins or whatever, but they look kind of cool. So I have made, go me, I've made something with it. Hopefully you can see the little disky things in the corners of this. So initially what I did was I cut this out to whatever size I cut it out to. I actually did it in inches. So it was 3 3/4 inches by 5 and 5.5. That was it. And then I've cut another piece of the Pretty Peacock to back it. And then, so initially what I did was I thought, cool, I'm going to use this stamp set here, Joy to You. It's nice and bold, goes with the paper well because, you know, bold paper, bold stamp set. And I stamped it directly onto the cardstock and went, oh bother, it kind of gets lost in that. So then I ended up having to stamp it onto a piece of vellum, and what I did was I stamped it onto the vellum and then I've clear heat embossed it, because otherwise if you stamp with our normal inks straight onto vellum, they will rub straight off again. So when you heat emboss it, it means that it then keeps it there and sticks it. So then I've just lined up the two images, the one underneath and the one on the vellum, to be able to make it work. And you can possibly, maybe, see underneath there that the writing is still under there. But it doesn't matter because I've lined them up and you can't see it anyway. So because I've had to use vellum, I've then used the glue dots in the corners and I've covered up the glue dots with my little blingy bits. So there you go. Oh, and of course, some of the iridescent ribbon. Can't forget the ribbon. So then I've actually been making a couple of things just to be able to put some embellishments into, because I want to send those off to a couple of different people as little thank you gifts to them. And I know that they will appreciate embellishments because they are also card makers. So, oh, hang on a minute. Oh, apologies about that. I had to stop the video and come back to it. So, yes, we have talked about this one. And I thought I would show you quickly how I actually just created that, because it is one of the easiest things that you can do with a bit of designer series paper, and it's beautiful that it shows off both sides of the DSP. So DSP, designer series paper. Let us grab, so I've got a few more that I just wanted to do as well, so we might just pick the first one. Doesn't need to be Christmassy, so I don't think I want to use the fa-la-las. Let's find one that's not Christmassy, which is somewhere around here. I think this one's a non-Christmassy one. And I have found the best way to do this is to allow yourself a little bit of a gap either side. So potentially if I was to stop it about there, what have I done with my cutter? Here it is, found it. Oh, sorry, you got wobbled in that. And now I can't see where it is. Oh, there it is. All right, let's just make that a little bit deeper so I know where I'm cutting to. There it is. Okay, we might as well just make that. I wonder if 6 inches is just a bit too wide. Yes, it is too wide. 5.5 inches, let's try that. Not even 5.5. Let's try 5.25. I'm just looking at the fact that I want enough space either side of it to have a hole in it. So I think 5.25 will work. So let's go for that. And oh, this paper is just gonna try and attack me, obviously. Yep, that should work. And then it's a case of deciding how far up or what you actually want showing. So I might just have it so that the little saying on there is showing, and I'm just going to fold it by hand. Oh, doesn't quite show. Oh, that was really thick. All right, forget that. A little bit more, because I actually want to fold it over as well. Forgot about that. All right, let's do it so that it's not showing at all, and then we've got somewhere to fold it down. There we go. How about that? Right. And then I don't need all of that, so now I can chop off some of this. So then that should fit into there. Nice. And the other thing I have done with this is I have got my, excuse the fact that these are not sold anymore, but it is a crocodile. Let's just crease that down, make sure it's going to stay there. You don't even need glue to do this, actually. So just punch a hole in one side, punch a hole in the other side. This should still fit, so bonus, it still fits. And because I know that this will fray if I don't do something about it, I'm just going to grab my little thing and run that over the edge so that it means that it's not going to fray anymore. Ooh, smell the smoke now. And then that can go through this side. And then these guys can come to the center, and I can do a little bit of a knot in it. So when you do your knots, you go left over right and right over left, or the other way around. So I never know whether I'm doing left over right because I'm terrible with my left and right. But what I do find is that you can see how this one is the one that's on top, this one's the one that's underneath, and I want that to be in the same position. So I want it to, normally I would have probably done the other piece going in the other direction. Wow, I'm making a hash of this. Trust me, you want a reef knot. That is a reef knot. Okay, lovely. Pair of scissors. Let's give that bit a bit of a chop off, and let's sear the end of that as well. I think I must be getting low on the amount of, ooh, got a bit of smoke with that one. The lighter fluid that's in this, I think. All right. So there you have it. If you want to just bundle up something like that nice and simply, and then it makes it a nice little gift for somebody and they don't necessarily see what they're getting to begin with. I did think I would show you one more thing. Hopefully I can do this because I haven't practiced it. So my usual way of doing things. So a little while ago, I showed you decorating up one of these booklets. And obviously this one is not decorated, but I plan to. And then I thought how nice it would be if it was going to be a Christmas present, if it could be like wrapped in nice paper. Just so that you've got this part sitting outwards, but that part inwards. So I then thought that would be kind of a cool thing to do with this paper. And I fancied having the fa-la-la-la-las on the outside because this is going to be a Christmas present for somebody. Don't know who yet. How exciting. What you need to do though is you need to measure how thick whatever it is that you're deciding to package up is going to be. So in this particular case, this thickness is about 1/2 inch. So I know that my cardstock is 12 by 12. So if it's 12 across and I want 1/2 inch in the middle, then I need to be scoring it at, oh, wait for it, hang on a minute. This would help if I bring my scorer back onto my plate as well, or my cutting mat. Put that in. So if I have it so that it is 1/4 inch shorter this way, and then if I measure it again and give it 1/4 inch shorter the other way, I'll know that that is in the middle and it is going to be 1/4 inch shorter than 6 inches. That was clever, wasn't it? That made more sense to me probably than to you. Anyway, keep moving on. So 1/4 inch shorter of 6. So in other words, 5 3/8 of an inch. And that will give you a 1/2 inch. I will just show you. This would be good if I could actually see my score lines on here. I know they're there. But because of the colour of the cardstock, you can't really see the score lines terribly well. But there we go. So that gives me exactly a halfway mark with that little gap. So that'll work on there. Then I know that it is 1/2 inch thick, so I'm going to score 1/2 inch from the end. There's my 1/2 inch mark, and nope. Half an inch. Well, that scored a lot better than the last one did. And because I want it to be able to fold inwards, I'm going to grab my scissors, which have disappeared on me. There they are. Wow, that's amazing, isn't it, when things actually appear? And I'm just going to snip those two end pieces like that, so that when I do this, it's all going to come together like that, and then I'm going to have a nice fa-la-las on the end. However, that is all very well, and that's going to look great in there, but I kind of need to know how long I want it to be. So I know that that is where the end of my book is. So I'm just going to keep an eye on that, maybe. And score myself a line at that point. If you're finding it really difficult to see it, I recommend that, oh God, this thing keeps falling off. I recommend you just use a pencil line or something, and that'll do. So then I have that line there, and I want a 1/2 inch from that point, which conveniently enough, I can see my 1/2 inch mark on this side. So I can measure it up to my 1/2 inch mark and cut it off. And then just do the same with the little bit on this side. And that will give us a nice little cover for this to sit in. However, not quite finished with it yet. So, let's see. It is kind of cool, this side of it, I have to admit, but I was setting my heart on the fa la la side. I'm going to grab some of my tear and tape and just pop a little bit onto there. And attach that one onto there like that. And the same on this side, we'll just do that little piece of tear and tape onto there. Take that piece off. And any excess tear and tape, as you can see, just roll it back onto itself. And then that can sit onto that piece like that. And then we need a bit more along the edges here. Just love tear and tape. I love the fact that I can tear it when I get to the end. That is probably my favourite thing with it. So let's just pop that there. This probably would be a good idea to use my take your pick tool, really, wouldn't it? Oh, look at that. So much quicker and easier. Huh, who would have thought? There you go. That bit over. Hasn't quite made it to the end, so I'll just take a wee bit more and add that onto this end here. And then that will just attach nicely down on that side and nicely down on that side. And then you have a little, okay, this would be good. There we go. A little slot for this to go into, and potentially you could just tie ribbon around it to make it just, you know, bit of ribbon around it like that. I may do a little bit more to this one so that it looks a bit more Christmassy, and I'll maybe add a tag to it as well. I just thought, you know, it's kind of cool. They don't see exactly how your envelope is decorated. You could still have a pen sitting on the side here, but it just gives it that little bit of something Christmassy, and then they can take out and go, oh wow, look at that. So there you go. That's my little something for today, and of course it's not going to fit back into there in a hurry. Oh, do me a favour. There it is. So you can use the designer series papers just to wrap things up and make them look really pretty like this, and it just gives it, as I say, something a bit different. So there we go. That's my something for today, and I hope you've enjoyed it, and do come back and join me next weekend. I will pop measurements up. So these ones I get from Kmart. I know I've spoken to a couple of people who've already gone ahead and had a go at decorating their own. So there we go. Now you can create yourself a little sleeve for it too. But I'll put the measurements up on my blog for it. All right, take care. Talk to you next week. Bye.